And so today, you've got me. I'm Claire. I'm one of the education program managers at Codebase. And Danae Shell, you will hear a lot about her very shortly. And in the background, helping out is my colleague Anais, who is head of online community. So I see there's a bunch of people here now, so I'll just slowly get us started. So just to mention, but you should have been already told by Zoom, but we are recording the event today. We'll be sending out that link to that recording in the coming days. We also have a code of conduct for all of our events. So please be nice to each other. Anais will be posting this into the chat very shortly. If you're not familiar with Zoom, you are just to let you know, you can use the chat function. The Q&A, I'll basically be picking that up at the end for a Q&A with Danae. And feel free to sit with your camera on or off, whatever you are more comfortable with. Yeah, so I think that's seeming like numbers have settled for coming into the room. So I will pass over to Danae, who is the CEO and founder of Valla. So I will shush and let you get on. Thank you, Danae.
Thank you so much, Claire, and thank you everybody for joining me today. Yeah, so let's get kicked off. I'm going to go fast because there's so much I want to tell you. So feel free, yes, to please ask questions in the comments, and we will have a Q&A section at the end. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Danae. I am the co-founder and the CEO of Valla. And Valla is an early stage startup, and we are the DIY legal platform for consumers. So anytime a consumer has a problem that they can't afford to just get a law firm to handle for them, we have built a platform that allows it to resolve it themselves. And we're starting with employment issues. And really what you want to know about Valla today is, what is it about our TikTok that is interesting? So I'll just start with some of the absolute basics. This is our TikTok profile. This is our main social media profile. And as you can see, we've posted since early 2021, we've posted 302 videos, but I'll show you a little timeline later on about how that emerged. We have currently got about 83,000 followers and over 13 million views of our various, those 302 videos. And then there's a bunch of stuff about comments, likes, shares, and things like that. But that is like an early, that's like a high level snapshot. And in terms of what that actually looks like in terms of, videos that have done well, things like that on the platform, I've picked out 3 of the videos. I think I've done 3 or 4 videos that have done over 1 million views. And this is a good kind of snapshot of, what we look like on the TikTok platform. The first video, I think, is only maybe 7 seconds long. It's just like it's literally just me sitting on a train, putting something interesting on the screen. The second video is me talking to camera, talking about the concept of wage theft. And then the third video is a skit format, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on. But if you were to go to valla.uk on TikTok, these are the kind of videos that you would see. And so that's a really quick introduction to who we are, but this is what I really want to tell you about today. And I'm going to go through this and just talk you through kind of some things that I've learned, how we got started on TikTok. I am not a TikTok marketer by trade. My background is a content marketer. I was a software engineer, and then I moved into marketing via digital marketing. And my experience was in Google SEO. So TikTok is new to me, just as is new for all of us. It's a new platform. So I'm going to talk you through some of these topics, and then we can do Q&A at the end. Okay, so first, I want to start out just by kind of just resetting expectations, resetting the baseline of what we all understand TikTok to be. And this is kind of a rant, because I think a lot of people have really just some outdated concepts about what TikTok is. And that's not surprising, because TikTok changes very quickly. It's only really been on the public consciousness for like 3 years. So, it's, but it has moved very quickly in that time. So the first thing that I hear a lot about TikTok is that it's just for young people. So it's not really for, you know, professionals who are mid-career or businesses or things like that. It's just a young people app. Now, this is data in 2023 of UK TikTok usage. So yes, what this data shows you here is that 75% of all 16 to 24-year-olds in the UK use TikTok. So 75% of all young people in the UK do use the app. So yeah, by far, young people dominate the platform, but look at the other ones. I mean, how many other channels can you talk about where 35% of all 35 to 44-year-olds use that channel? That is a huge percentage. Your audience is on TikTok. I mean, maybe if you're targeting seniors at 65 plus, they're not there yet, but give it another 6 months and then that bar is going to move over to the right. So TikTok was dominated initially by young people and certainly has a strong audience of young people, but every demographic is heavily using TikTok and these numbers are growing and growing. And a huge chunk, I mean, a quarter of all 45 to 55-year-olds in the UK have TikTok on their phone and are using it. So yeah, not just for young people. The other thing that I hear a lot is, oh, I can't use TikTok. I don't want to dance. Again, that was popular in 2020, but that is another concept that just doesn't really work now. TikTok has gone way beyond dancing. I mean, it's still there, like dancing is still on the app, but I've just pulled a few headlines to give you a sense of what TikTok is being used for right now. Right now, as we speak, TikTok has completely changed the way people buy beauty products. It is like completely upending the beauty industry. BookTok is completely changing the publishing industry. Authors now have to put TikTok into their planning because BookTok sells books in a way that the publishing industry has never seen before. The travel industry, massively dominated by TikTok. And then I just picked out one niche, farmfluencers. There is so many small niches of farming. Goodness, I can't even think of all of them. Electrical engineering, everything that you can possibly imagine, there is a niche on TikTok already there that is growing rapidly. There are so many different groups of people. There's not one TikTok. TikTok's famous algorithm means that as soon as it gets an idea of what your interests are, it's going to serve you more and more specialist and niche content. So it's not just a dancing app. And then the third thing is a misconception that I think we all have and is understandable. We all kind of think of TikTok as a social media app, but it's not. I mean, it started as a social media app, kind of, but TikTok is a search engine. And TikTok is kind of like just a giant walled garden internet. TikTok has surpassed Google as the search engine of choice for young people. And it is moving up in the same way that that other graph I showed you, it is moving up through the ranks. Google is getting eaten by TikTok. And if you think about it, you can understand why. I mean, so yeah, TikTok is the new Google. If you think about it, you can understand why. Because if you Google a pasta bake recipe, the first thing that you're going to get on Google is like somebody's life story and a recipe. And then like right at the bottom, if you keep scrolling, you'll finally get the recipe. On TikTok, you'll get like a 2-minute video that shows you exactly how to make it. It's perfectly edited. Best restaurants in Glasgow, how to change a tire, all these different things. I can guarantee you the search result is better on TikTok than it is on Google. And that's why TikTok is the new Google. Okay, so that is kind of resetting that expectation. Now, let me give you a little bit of an idea of how we started using TikTok at Valla and kind of what we learned so far and how it is influencing our business. So as I said, Valla is an early stage business. We started working on the idea in 2020. We actually launched the product in 2022 in April. And you can see that our TikTok timeline, and this is just literally how many views we got in any given month for the videos posted in that month. So let me just give you a little whistle-stop tour. we got a consultant in to help us just test out the idea of TikTok back in August of 2021. He tested out some ideas for us, said, I think this is an interesting channel, but nothing kind of like caught fire. Then we didn't really do anything with it until I was working with a customer. Something happened that really made me angry that was happening to the customer. So I went onto TikTok and I did a rant about it. And by this point, I was a prolific TikTok user. So I knew that I was kind of allowed to do that. I could just go point the camera at my face and have a rant. And that rant worked really well. And so then I did a few more videos and a few more videos. And I consistently posted over that summer and got tons of interesting feedback, videos, tons of traffic to the website. And then got really busy. So this is what I call the valley of inconsistency. On these 2 months, the 6th and the 7th, I was June and July, I was posting every weekday consistently. From August to about January of 2023, I wasn't posting consistently, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, something like that. And TikTok loves consistency, so we weren't getting massive views. But then as soon as I picked it back up again, it shot up. Everything went great again. And then in April, I discovered TikTok Live, which significantly contributed to views, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. And then just last month, I tried a new TikTok format, which completely blew everything else I've been doing out of the water in terms of performance. But what does this mean for the business, right? Well, here is our sales overlaid over the top of that. So you can see other things had an impact on these sales, but the biggest impact on sales that I want to just point out here is the TikTok Live in April of 2023. I learned in April of 2023 that TikTok Live is basically like QVC. You can talk to your customers, you can point out what they should buy, and they will buy it. And that was amazing. And you can see from there, our revenue has spiked up. It actually dropped down a little bit last month, and that's because we've actually overwhelmed our current capacity to deliver. So we've had to be turning away business in the last month, and we're frantically in the background trying to increase our capacity and bring on more coaches so that we can scale even further, because the demand is kind of going bananas at the moment. So it is directly influencing the sales of our business. And I've been doing all of this really with just 2 video formats. Everything that you see on this graph until the last big bar was the first format. Literally just me pointing the camera to my face and talking. And then recently I tried the skit format. You'll see I'm wearing a hat there. That's me playing the second character. That's how high production values get in TikTok. I am playing a second character by wearing a hat. That is the new format that is working really, really well for us. And that new format as well, this is how many people have clicked on our profile. So I thought all of these numbers up until August, July, August were really good until we got the new numbers. That new format has massively increased the interest in Valla and the interest in clicking onto our profile to see who we are. And we're also, this is just a consistent view of how many inbound emails we get every day, you know, peaking at like 60, 50, averaging around the kind of 30s and 40s. We get a lot of emails from people because our email address is on our TikTok profile. And so actually inbound email is one of our biggest sales channels. And we also use Linktree. And so when I'm directing people to calls to action on social media, I'm directing them to our Linktree, which is almost replacing our homepage sometimes, depending on the month, in terms of sales that it can generate. Right, so that gives you an idea of kind of where we are with this. Let me talk you through what this means for our content strategy, because I ran FreeAgent's content strategy for 5 or 6 years. I've been a content marketer for a really long time. I was there when Google started. I built a publishing company on Google in the early days, early SEOer. And this was the format to use. This was the content strategy, the hub and spoke content strategy that I have used for years now. You start with one big piece of content. At FreeAgent, it was the self-assessment, how to do your self-assessment tax return, like a 20-page PDF. And then you spoke off. That was the hub, and then you spoke off. And you make videos about it, you do social media posts about it, but you produce one big PDF, and then you spoke everything else off. That was the content strategy that I employed for Google SEO and for many businesses. That has now changed. Now, the hub is actually a TikTok series. So a series of videos about a particular topic. And the spokes are really different. So some of the spokes now, and I'll show you a few examples of this, is yes, we still produce articles on our website for Google to index, but Google isn't our primary publishing focus now. We've moved from an article first or written first content strategy to a video first content strategy. And then those videos get automatically republished to other platforms. We then repackage the content into different lives. We do paid webinars, and then we still produce some of those PDF style lead magnets as well. But we have moved from article first to video first. And if you think about what those videos are, we have three main types of videos that we publish. Videos that are designed to increase our reach and increase our followers. Videos that are designed for long tail informational searches, just like classic Google SEO. Remember, if TikTok is the new Google, I am now doing my long tail SEO searches on video. So, if you used to Google what is employment tribunal, you will now search for the same thing in TikTok, and I will have a video there and ready and waiting for you. And then finally, I have transactional focused videos. So for example, this is the reach example, that one of me on the train that lasted for 7 seconds. That was just designed to get more people introduced to the concept of us. Oh, sorry. Don't know where my video went there. It's fine. Then I have an SEO example, and this is classic Google SEO searches. What is, how do I, what, like who, how queries. What is queries are the bread and butter of long tail SEO. Same on TikTok. And then transactional, we're showing the platform, we're selling the platform. And we also, if you look at this content strategy again, we also auto republish most of our videos. Now, we're in a really interesting time right now. I've been a content marketer for a long time, and it used to be that you had to really reformat and rework one piece of content, that hub, a spoke for Instagram and a spoke for Facebook and a spoke for Twitter. They were all very different. You couldn't publish the same thing on multiple platforms without it just not performing well. But we are now dominated by vertical video. The TikTok format can easily, because everybody else is trying to clone TikTok, now TikTok has become the standard format. And so I can record a TikTok and use something like repurpose.io and automatically republish it to Instagram, YouTube, Meta, and know that it will perform well. And so we do a lot of that. We also then manually write articles based on the TikTok videos. And as I said before, we create paid webinars. So this is a screenshot from repurpose.io, and you can see how this is how it's set up to automatically take those videos and republish them to those different places. Obviously, there's some like length restrictions and things like that, so not everything publishes everywhere. But YouTube in particular, this has been a really successful strategy for YouTube. And in fact, what's really lovely is we have grown our followers really consistently over YouTube without doing anything on YouTube. This is just republished videos, but we've grown our subscriber base steadily month on month just by republishing what we're doing on TikTok. And then this is probably what you would have expected to see much earlier on in the presentation. This is the classic Google SEO article. So TikTok might be the new Google, but Google is still around, and we still get a lot of our traffic from Google searches. And this is how we use that content that we've already produced to target those Google searches. And you'll notice that this particular video has been republished from TikTok to YouTube because Google wants to show its own videos, not TikTok videos, in its search results. So this is us republishing to take advantage of each platform. And again, if a video makes sense to people, if they want more of it, that is a very strong signal that they would be willing to pay more to get a bespoke webinar about that topic. So you can see how an interesting niche topic about a niche award and employment tribunal turns into a paid webinar. Okay, so I've talked you through kind of how we use TikTok, the impact it's had on our business, the way it's changed our content strategy. Now I want to introduce you to, that was all kind of like 101. Now I want to introduce you to a little bit more of an advanced topic, which is live. Now, if you had told me a year ago that I would be generating a lot of revenue by going live on TikTok, I would have laughed at you. To me, this is what live was, right? It was like people in bunny ears, like making funny faces. Live is like with those little hearts that stream up on the right-hand side. Yeah, like it's just, it was not for me. It was for teenagers. But live is super interesting. And so now I go live all the time. And these are some screenshots. Usually I just take screenshots when people say like they've won a case or they've used our advice and succeeded. But these are some screenshots from live, so you can kind of see how it looks. Typically I've got a little thing above me that says ask a question, and there's constant questions streaming. And honestly, all I do is I point the camera at my face. I say, hi, I know a lot about employment tribunal. If you're going through an issue with your employer, ask me a question. And then I just get a fire hose of questions. They just keep coming down below. And I just try and keep up. And I answer questions as quickly as I can. And then on my lives, you'll see me pointing like this a lot. Because if you see up here, this is the link to my profile. And so often I'll say, oh, you know what? I covered this in our white paper. If you click up here in the profile and click this, you can get the white paper for free. Or, ooh, we have a product for that, actually. If you click up here, you can use our coaching service for that hearing. And so that is like, I find myself doing it typically about 30 to 45 minutes at a time, sometimes an hour. And you'll notice the times as well, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. You kind of go live when people are around watching things on their phones. But this works so well for generating sales, for improving your relationship with your customers, for generating more interest in your product. And notice the numbers aren't bananas. I have 37 people, 31 people, 32. We're not talking about thousands of people here. This is just a small audience of people who really care about the topic that you're talking about. And it's not just me that does this. I really like this guy. I'm a mortgage advisor. Ask me anything. I'm trying to get that banner. I need to put that banner up above me to make it even clearer. He was doing so well. This guy on the left is a security expert. He goes live regularly. You can generate so much interest and so many questions and so many inquiries into your business just by pointing the camera at your face and talking to people. And the really cool thing is you can go live on YouTube as well. So you'll notice in this video that my phone is kind of peeking out of the corner. That's because I started going live on TikTok, and then I realized that you can go on YouTube as well. So I'm actually using the webcam to go live on YouTube and the phone to go live on TikTok at the same time. So I really get 2 for 1, and I just take questions from both. So you can see the questions coming in on the side here. And I've just got a dual monitor set up, and then I just basically read questions as fast as I can and answer them. And people, like, they don't mind if you miss their question, they'll remind you. People like that you're trying. Like, there's nothing slick about any of this. They like that you're trying, and they like that you know the answers to their questions. And again, I'm directing everyone back to our link tree, which has the different calls to action. It's a nice, simple thing. We turn things on and off depending on what we're promoting at the time. It's a great way, especially with tracked links inside it, to just get people to the right place. And you can say, oh, click on there and just click on use Valla for free. And that's the one that you want. And like I said, live really does make a difference. There was one day that I went live a couple of times that day, and I think we made £1,000 in one day just from the lives. Sometimes the hardest part about live is just managing your energy. But in terms of, if you can make it clear that you know about a topic and people want to hear about that topic, and you have something to sell them that you can easily point to, you have all of the ingredients to make money on live. The other thing that's super interesting about live is YouTube records the lives and keeps them published. Now, I wasn't really sure how I felt about it because lives felt more ephemeral to me, and I didn't know if it was worth recording them and making them available later on, but actually people watch them and we get lots of comments based on them. So I leave them up. But you can see here, you know, this is nothing fancy. It's just me going live. Employment tribunal help is the same word over and over, you know, nothing fancy. Okay, so I've given you a whistle-stop tour of what I think TikTok really is for businesses, how we use it, gotten some ideas in your head about how you might be able to use it. So now I'm going to challenge you, because I think that TikTok is a fantastic growth channel. I think it's the best growth channel out there right now in terms of potential to reach a big audience with little to no monetary investment. So first, there's your starter pack. That is all you need to get started. And I intentionally picked out like the worst looking phone I could find, because this is not like a slick operation here. All you need is a phone that has a camera to get started by posting onto TikTok. TikTok actually has a fantastic inbuilt editing suite. You can do closed captions, you can do editing really easily. You don't need a microphone, you don't need anything. You can just point the camera, oops. You can just point the camera at your face and that's it. You can stop it. But I know you're thinking, okay, Danae, that can't be everything. So I will give you a bonus starter pack, a fancy starter pack. You can spend £2.25 at IKEA and you can get a little stand so you don't have to hold the camera. That's it. Like, you really do not need much to start testing out TikTok. Don't go buy lighting. Don't go buy all those other things. Those things will come. I have a fancy kit now. But when I started, it was just me with one of these little things pointing at me. That's all you need. And so now let's talk about your 7-day challenge. So all I want you to do for 7 days, if you want to test this out for yourself, is 3 things. Number 1, I want you to watch TikTok for 30 minutes every day. You can tell your significant other or your employees or your team members that it's for work. I just want you to create a profile if you don't have one already and just watch TikTok. Learn the norms. It is a very specific platform. It is not Instagram. It is not Twitch. So just learn, just spend some time on there and comment on other people's videos. It will increase your video views. And again, it will help you kind of just understand how everything works. And then I want you for 1 week to post 1 video per weekday. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, what am I going to post about? No, I'm not going to do this. But don't worry, I've already given you 5 topics that you can use. So I find that addressing misconceptions is one of the most powerful things that you can do on any content format. So start with that, just go on a rant. Then, do some top tips, maybe 3 tips about something, 5 tips about something. Just tell a story. Lots of people, if you just start with a beginning, a middle, and an end, that often works so well. You can geek out. I cannot tell you how much TikTok rewards passion and enthusiasm. So if you just geek out, TikTok will find the people who are interested in the thing that you are geeking out about. And then maybe do like here's how to do this and show an example. Now, if you're still thinking, I'm not sure, like that still feels a little bit too high level for me, that's just what I did with you today. So those 5 formats is the 5 parts of the agenda that we went through today. So if you need an example of any of these to try out in your own challenge, just remember how we did that. You could easily see how I changed the format. You could just change the title of each of these things. Here's 3 misconceptions about TikTok. There's a TikTok video. Here's how we used live to generate sales. There's another TikTok video. So you can always come back to this and just watch how I did it in each of those sections and just borrow, just steal the whole thing and apply it to your industry. Sorry about that. Don't know why the video keeps doing that. Okay. And here is my final list of TikTok tips. So this is just a good sum up of everything else. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to just be consistent. The video can be terrible as long as you post it. And nobody really cares. Like, TikTok's ephemeral. Nobody really cares if you posted a rubbish video yesterday, but TikTok cares if you're posting. You saw my valley of inconsistency. And again, the less polished, the better. People are actually quite suspicious of overly polished videos on TikTok. The more authentic you are, the better you will perform. And again, the more passionate you are, the better you will perform. And I cannot emphasize enough that TikTok is not Instagram. If you have done well on the Instagram platform, do not bring your Instagram playbook over onto TikTok. It will not play. TikTok is more irreverent, it's more unpolished, it's more authentic, it's less salesy. That's why watch 30 minutes of TikTok every day. Get a sense of the vibe. And also TikTok is a perfect dopamine platform. It will tell you, you will know within 24 to 48 hours if the video you have posted works. And then you can just try again, try something different. Just keep experimenting. And overall, TikTok really does reward authenticity. So I know you don't trust me. I know you'll think, oh, I have to be like the professional version of myself and stuff like that. Watch some of my videos. You know, I come across as like a professional. I know what I'm doing, but there are other videos where I'm just ranting at people. And that often performs even better. There are some videos when I'm just kind of lying in bed. Lots of people do that. They just lie in bed with like a hoodie on and then like talk to people. It doesn't matter. You can just be yourself. And the more you are yourself, the more you will find the audience that cares about what you care about. Okay, that is me. Can't wait for your questions. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, thank you, Danae. That was really amazing. And there are questions pouring in, so let's get started. So there's one from Millie saying, if you're brand new to TikTok, would you recommend going live as part of your strategy, or do you first need to have an audience?
I think in order to go live, you need to have a minimum audience size. And so I would recommend just posting videos to begin with. And then as soon as you're able to go live, I would go live. And don't be disheartened if just like one person shows up and then leaves again, and then another person shows up and then leaves again. Just keep trying, because you will find the format that works. You just got to keep exposing yourself to the format.
Great, thank you. One from Jenna. Are you able to share your age trends? Really interested to know what age groups are engaging with Valla specifically.
That is a good question. I'll peek while we're answering questions. I'll see if I can find that information, and if so, I'll come back.
Perfect. Well, there's another one from Jenna that I'll cover off. Do you only use TikTok for business purposes, or do you use it personally? She says that she asks because, confession, I did not use TikTok personally. A disciplined decision to protect my time. Very fair.
Yeah. So I have two accounts. I have a personal account and a business account. I don't post personally, but I used to browse on my personal account and then post on the business account. I've actually found that TikTok rewards people for being good TikTok citizens. So the more that you interact with the wider TikTok community, the more reach your own videos get. So I've actually collapsed everything down into the business account and do my personal browsing there as well. And even like TikTok Shop, which is very addictive. I even occasionally buy from TikTok Shop just to show TikTok that I'm a good business citizen, basically.
Nice. One from Lottie. Do you need to be showing your face for TikTok to work for your business? Just wondering if there's a way for camera shy folks to do this.
Good question. One of the formats that I see working really well is the format where that's not face forward. TikTok is dominated by face forward, but the other format that goes really well is voiceover format. That works really well if you're showing like a process, or as long as you have good B-roll, you could do the voiceover format. So yeah, there are formats that can work well even if you don't want to point a camera at your face.
Nice. From an anonymous person, any guidelines for how long the videos should be, brackets, when you're just starting out?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It used to be, when I first started, that you could post up to a 3-minute video, but you really needed to be 1 minute every time to do well. 1-minute videos, 60 seconds or less was the right reach. That has significantly changed as TikTok has started competing with YouTube. It's really interesting because YouTube introduced shorts to try and compete with TikTok. And now TikTok have introduced up to 10-minute video formats to compete with YouTube. So everybody's borrowing from everybody else. And right now the algorithm is rewarding longer length, higher quality content. So for example, the most recent, one of the videos that got over 1 million was 7 seconds long. Another one was 2 minutes long. And the last one I think was 7 minutes long. So that gives you, and I think that's in chronological order. So you can go longer, but what I will say is TikTok viewers do not reward waffling. So if you do go longer, the editor is excellent. Just cut out any dead bits in the content, like any kind of like pauses, stuff like that. You can just cut them out. Just kind of rapid fire editing will make a big difference, even if you've got a longer video.
Nice. Am I right in thinking that the more followers you acquire, the longer you're allowed to post for?
I do think that I've got 10 minutes because I think 10 minutes is only an option for certain people, but I know 3 minutes is available to everyone, I think. And I think 3 minutes is often the sweet spot at the moment for the TikTok algorithm, but the algorithm does change. You know, it's just like Google or any of the other places. It does change every once in a while.
Nice. There are plenty of questions here. This is amazing. So one from Polly. What are some key metrics you look at to validate TikTok as a valid channel?
Great question.
As a valid channel to incorporate into your overall marketing strategy.
Yeah, great question. So outside of the engagement within TikTok itself, a lot of what we do is we UTM tag all the links in our Linktree profile so that we can see the traffic coming through from TikTok onto the website. And so we track through to kind of like a freemium sign up and then a sale from there. And then we also anecdotally see tons of inquiries coming through into our email inbox from TikTok. Often they just self-identify. They'll say, I saw your TikToks and was hoping you could help with this or that. So we know that it's, I would say at the moment, so sorry about my video thing. I would say at the moment, it's probably responsible for about 40% of our sales or something like that. Word of mouth is the other big one. And then Google search is the next biggest one. So yeah, lots, in terms of how we evaluate it, UTM tracking is the big one.
Nice. So I think I'm going to double up these two questions because they're fairly similar. Would you suggest posting as the business or as an individual works better? And are there any pros and cons to being the face of Valla on TikTok?
Oh, two very different questions. Yeah, I like it. The first one, so if you create a business profile, you get access to some business tools, but it also means that you don't get access to a lot of other stuff. For example, a lot of the sounds that you can use on TikTok aren't available for commercial use. And so the business profiles don't have access to them. And sometimes they roll out new features, first to personal accounts and then business accounts. I haven't seen an impact on reach and kind of ability to reach people by having a business account, which is what we have. But I do know that some other people will create a personal account for the business instead of a business account. The thing is, if you do get big or even medium sized and you were using maybe copyrighted sounds or things that weren't approved for commercial use and things like that, it would bite you later on. So I think it's worth just biting the bullet and sticking as a business account if you really want to kind of build something that's sustainable. In terms of, is it being the face of the business? It's really interesting because as the CEO, you already are the face of the business and the spokesperson for the business, right? But this is really taking it to like a whole new level. And probably one of the more common things I hear is that somebody will say, oh, I'm just going to go hire a young person to go be our spokesperson on TikTok. I would not recommend that. Nobody knows your business like you do. Nobody knows your customers like you do. We hired a young person to try out TikTok for us, and he gave us a lot of good ideas about the potential for the channel. But it was only when I started talking to customers about everything that I knew about that we really started to get that momentum. So I know it's uncomfortable to be the spokesperson, but if you are in that role already, I think that it's a natural extension of that. The other thing is it's super interesting because we didn't really anticipate how much people would associate the brand with me. And so now, a lot of people write in and they say, can I talk to Danae about this? And so we're trying to figure out, how do we decouple that in a way that makes sense to people as a brand? It's super interesting. I mean, it is new, I think, to be an influencer-led acquisition strategy for a startup. There are some kind of precedents for it, but Martin Lewis of Money Saving Expert is a good example, and often I look to him when I think about how do they navigate these things. But it is a different format. Wasn't the acquisition strategy I thought we were going to have when I started Valla.
Nice, thank you. Another one from Millie. Any tips on finding your people on TikTok? I find that searching through hashtags just shows me the really big accounts that don't really resonate.
Yeah. So one of the things you'll do if you're creating a TikTok profile from scratch is you'll need to train the algorithm, because the algorithm will give you a bunch of like just generic stuff to begin with, and you can swipe, I think it's right or left on a video to indicate that you don't like a video, and that's, I find, one of the quickest ways to be clear about what you don't want to see, and then just interact with the stuff that you do like. So if you really like something, leave a comment, share, click the share button, even if you don't do anything with it afterwards. And those are strong signals to TikTok that you like that particular thing. And it'll figure you out within about a week, if you kind of send those signals back to it. And the algorithm is terrifyingly accurate once it does figure you out.
I really do love the idea of training the algorithm. That makes it feel a bit less scary, to be honest. Just a couple more questions here. So Jen is asking, do you announce ahead of time that you're going live, or do you now have such good engagement that you know what times to go live?
I should announce, I should be consistent about lives as well. I think we would do better. I think it would perform better if I was consistent and pre-announced the times and people knew that they could log on at a certain time. But I don't. I find that I still haven't managed to get going live into my daily routine in a way that I can just say, okay, it's time to go live. But I do know what time of day is best to go live. It's 9 p.m. Like 9 p.m. I think in general. So TikTok will tell you when your followers are online as you build up an audience, but almost all audiences are online at 9 p.m. So if you really want a higher, like if I go live in the afternoon, I might get 17 people with me. If I go live at 9 p.m., I'll get 50, 60, 70 people with me.
Wonderful. I think we probably have time just to squeeze in one more question before we hit the time. Have you started using photos and text on TikTok, and how is the post performing? I believe posting photos or text are two ways to post without showing your face.
Yeah, I haven't experimented with it, but I know some other content creators have experimented with some success. It's kind of like Instagram in that if TikTok brings out something new, they reward people who try the new format. The other thing is TikTok have also got an app called Lemon8, which is kind of like an Insta competitor, which is much more flat, less video, more kind of photos and videos and text, or photos and text. So they are pulling some Lemon8 functionality into TikTok. I haven't experimented with it because I haven't played around with it yet, but I do think right now, especially, that is a format that could perform well for you. I would definitely try it.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, that is us at time. Thanks for all the great questions, and thank you again, Danae. That was really amazing to hear all about. And this event came out of Danae and I sort of geeking out about TikTok and how to use it. So yeah, super pleased that this all worked out. And thank you for coming along, everyone.
Thank you so much for having me. That was great fun.